Okay, welcome to my fish tank. This is a call for help to fishy folk out there, fish enthusiasts and tank keepers of lifelong hobby. Yeah, meet my fish. That's Eve, indicating she was of the original fish. That's Adam. He's very aggressive. In fact, he was driving Eve and Rhuken here crazy. You can tell. Rhuken's what the problem is. We're going to talk about that. I need some help. Anyway, yeah, Adam here was real aggressive, so I got some other fish for him to contend with. And a couple minnows there, see the feeder minnows? 7 of which he ate before they got big enough. They're really aggressive too, so they kind of keep him in line. He needs a busy tank, or he just totally bothers the other fish. I all like each other. They like to, you know, swim and spin and spiral and nudge and jump and stuff, but it's kind of nice to disperse that behavior across more than 2 fish. This, on the Rhuken, is weird, okay? It's not ick, obviously. It's not spreading to the other fish. This is a, what, June, July, September, October, November, December, January, February, an 8-month-old infection. I've treated the tank with antibiotics. I've treated the tank with antifungals. I've had an ammonia attack and treated that. I've got a decent pH. It fluctuates a bit, but it's on the low end of the range. I'd like to see it come up a point or 2. Perhaps it has by now, because I added stuff to it. But anyway, yeah, I got the more while I was treating Rhuken here, because they are like the death of the tank. Good Lord, people, breed some healthy moors. They're so weak. They're the fin funk tank death. Anyway, yeah, he's made it, surprisingly enough. So I know that if the moor made it, things are good too, aside from what my testing kit says. So a little background on this funk on the fish. See if I can get him from the side here. He's a real happy fish. He doesn't show any signs of too much discomfort. He doesn't ever lay his fin or sit on the bottom, or I mean, he eats. The first spot to show up was that real big one on his head. See it? That real big one. The second one, if he'd kindly turn around, come around here, buddy. Yeah, it was that one on the side, upper there. Sometimes he'd come around now. Sometimes he'd get some kind of cottony spots between his eyes. See him? Can I get it? And they would reduce with antifungals. So I did repeated antifungal treatment, like 6 times with triple sulfa company's antifungal. And any fin rots that the other fish had, because it seemed that Eve here, in her nice shubunkiny big tail, would get a few cracks. But it never went jagged. It wasn't, you know, it could have been the minnows, right? It didn't, you know, I was just not wanting to lose my tank. I mean, these big fish that I have here, they're like 6 or 7 years old. Really, really like them, you know. These guys are new, as I said. Now, what else I've lost in the tank, which is of use to thinking about what's gone on here, is I had a weather loach. He was a big weather loach. And for those of you who don't know what a weather loach is a bottom cleaner. He's an eel, and he has whiskers, kind of catfishy looking like. And they call them weather loaches because they respond to barometric pressure. When it rains, they come to the surface. Believe it or not, fish can feel barometric pressure changes. Anyway, so the weather loach was really kind of cool. He booked around in there for a bit, and then he had these like circles kind of formed close up to his head, like this. And I mean, it didn't bump up like that, but he died probably before that could happen, if indeed it was the same infection. Try to give you guys as much of a view of this as I can. And yeah, when I took him out of the tank dead, there was like a kind of a jelly of the same shape over those spots. So I knew that whatever was on him was either parasitic or fungal, or, but I mean, he's a different, total different even race, man, than the fish. He's an eel, he ain't a fish. So yeah, we got rid of him pretty quick, his little body, and then I started being pretty concerned that the other fish were going to get something. And it was within about a month after that fish, or that eel's death, that just started happening to my Rhuken. And it's spreading over his body, predominantly more the right hand side. There's those little spots, those cottony spots between his eyes. They did respond to the antifungal, which led me to stay with the antifungals. So what do? I need your help, fish enthusiasts. What do I do? I mean, the people at the pet store, who I would really love the assistance of, because there's a really great fish guy there. He's stumped, so I'm going to show him this video too. It's not ick. If I get ick, I bring you back the fish. There's no ick in this tank, and I have a mild salinity just in case that happens, because ick eggs don't hatch if there's a bit of a brine. But a salinity that's safe for freshwater fish, just a small bit. pH is good, like I said, and the water's fantastic. I treated these guys so much, like 6 or 7 times, man. Plus the 2 times I tried with antibacterials, triple sulfa and the tea tree, the Pimafix and Melafix. I did those and thought, well, okay, I'll go to the chemical powders because maybe they're not strong enough. So all I can think is maybe Rhuken here could do with a hospital tank and a long duration treatment. But of what? What am I going to treat him with? I mean, all that seems to happen is that the green dye in the medicine gets into it, and by the time, a couple weeks after the green's gone out of the water after the treatment, the green comes out of whatever it is that's on my fish. I'm going to lose him. I like him. I don't want to lose him. And aside from that, this is the first fish funk that's got me stumped. Us fish people, we discover all kinds of weird stuff in biology trying to help our fish, and it's a really cool hobby. That's amazing. Here's a word for you: lithotrophic autotroph. That was cool. That was in the ammonia days, which I still have to watch. I got to test. So the tank itself, alright, I got an aeration stone. Used to have 2, but my pump couldn't handle it. Pump died, so I got another pump, both holes blasting into that, which gives a water flow on the surface towards this corner, which is their gentle stream corner. Sometimes they sleep down here because it's less of a stream, and it also pushes all their food up here, so they tend to feed here. And then under the water, it brings things back to the filters. So I'm happy with having 1 air stone. I'm running 2 filters because I got a lot of fish in this tank. I'm running one of those elite quiet ones. I don't like it so much, but you know what? It blasts water through real well. I love a bio wheel. Fairy godmother, can I have a bio wheel? And then I'm running one of these, what do they call them? Hoo-higamajiggies Aquaclear 30. Yeah, and I've been through so many new carbons now with all the treatment. I just kind of financially need to come up with an option that works better, say in a 10-gal tank for this guy, because I can't keep exposing all these other fish that are healthy and fine to constant inundation of medicines, right? But look, what is going on with you? It appears that it's going to cloud an eye on the other side of his face. His eye on the top is looking awful yellow. See that? It's different from the other one. See? He's really cooperating with us. Come back this way. Oh, I freaked him out. Yeah. So that eye is going to lead to his brain. Yeah, so he doesn't have much time left, I think. Another thing it could have originated from is, these happy little plastic plants. Yeah, great, right? I took it apart and I sort of hung it down in the water like this, thinking that they'd find that interesting, and they did. Like, they really kind of like it. Look at them. But I thought Rhuken punctured himself and maybe had a cyst, but then that mushroom thing on his head just got bigger and it spread, so that ain't it, because he didn't puncture himself in all those places. Is it a parasite? Is it a fungus? Is it a mold? Is it a bacteria? What is it? I can't find it on the internet, and I'm sure it exists because it's existing right in front of me. Alright, I think you guys have seen enough of Rhuken's problem now, so I'm going to go upload this, and I'll stick it on my Facebook, but I don't really think I have a whole lot of fishy friends on Facebook who I haven't already talked to about it. So I'll put it on my YouTube, and I don't really know how to attract attention to this issue. I mean, I get the guys at the pet store, in the aqua room. There's one guy, like I said, he's fantastic. Two of them actually, fabuli fish fies. I call them fish fies. You know, like sci-fi, fish fi. Anyway, I'll get them to have a look at it once I put it on the YouTube. Hi guys, at the pet store, talking about you, you know, in second person or something. Look at my Rhuken. What's on the go? It ain't ick. I can't kill it. What do I treat it with? So I'm thinking long duration treatment in a hospital tank. I could get real creative, and once he's in a hospital tank, I could throw in some nice stress coat with aloe vera, and then kind of bring him, he doesn't mind being cradled too much, bring him to the surface and cut the damn thing off. See what it looks like. I don't have a microscope, and I'm not going to university right now to take advantage of the cool labs and the educated biologists there. So it's not like I'm going to get a chance to take a specimen and look at it, but if I lob the damn thing off, like what's the worst case scenario? He's got an open sore. How would I treat that? Because that is one big thing. I know that sometimes with orandas you can get an infection in the head growth. And I read somewhere a long time ago when I had a really gorgeous, huge lemon oranda named Milo. And there's a dye. It sounds like Bartholomew, but it's not Bartholomew. It's used commonly to dye specimens in slides, but it has a stringent principle to it, and people with infections in the oranda's head growth have used this dye, like on a toothpick, to just pinpoint right where the infection is. I don't know if the dye has like a pH, local skin contact, like dermal pH change, which stops the infection. Anyway, Milo never got that infection, but I did do a lot of reading on that, and I'm curious if I can't pinpoint treat it with some sort of dye or substance, right? I mean, a dye is alright in the water, and a dye sticks to tissue, so that's like pretty advanced fish keeping though, and I haven't found anything else on the internet since talking about that. So yeah, this is a long video, but you need to see this, and a lot of it. I wish this camera had a better close-up view. Like, it gets a little blurry the closer things get. Give him a little food and see if he'll come close. And then it'll be the end. Watch now, I got a camera in my hand and I dump in a load. I'll go get the vacuum then and kick myself. No, everything's cool. Eating going on. That is one hell of a bright light, I realize. But yeah, he's happy. Look at him. He eats, his fins up, he swims around, hanging out with the other fish. See if I can get a look at it from the surface. Yeah, the light's going to wash it out. And you can see, as he feeds, with his body shape, that light's way too bright to show you what I'm talking about. But when he breaks the water, this part of, well, the initial infection site does touch the water surface. So I had thought for a while that perhaps there was something on the water surface which had infected him, which had come from the loach. So you can see I'm sort of tending towards parasite. Come up and eat. Show everybody your funk. Well, they're afraid of the camera from the surface. Fair enough. So, guys at Pets Unlimited, the big one in town, the biggest one in town with that awesome aqua room you got, there's some of you in there who I am impressed with. And I mean, I've been fishing for a long time. I'm not an expert. I've just got experience. But I haven't spoken to anybody since the pet cities died off who had a bloody clue. Sell you the fish and know not what to do, right? But you guys do. You are thinkers and you're really good at your jobs. And, well, obviously I haven't had any fish death. Well, I did have a telescope eye that was fancy fantail, and he was white and gold, and he just stopped. And I should mention that too. Did I mention that? He just stopped. He died and he didn't float, which is really kind of weird. So I figured I'd leave him there the night to see if he would float, just to take note, like, is he full of minerals or what? Why is the dead fish not floating? Does it have anything to do with the condition that led to this in my Rhuken? But I didn't get the chance because Buys here ate him. Yeah, so then I was really concerned. You know, the next morning when he was gone, that everybody'd be infected if he was a part of the cycle of whatever that funky stuff. I mean, look at that. That's nuts. But no, nobody else is sick. No fin rot. No nothing. Adam and Eve are starting to do their swirly whirls. They like to dance after they eat. This fish here, and where's he to? There he is over there. These two were bought from you guys there at Pets Unlimited by a guy who brought them back because he wanted to do a different tank setup, and I bought them from you. I mean, no problems. These fish like went from your store to someone else's tank to your store to my tank. Now, my water's good. I'm going to bring you some water to test. I think my pH is a little low, and I think I need to vacuum again. But these fish have a big ammonia immunity, and that doesn't mean that they should be exposed to it. It's just I can't. You know, this stuff originated before I had the day of the ammonia burn, the black spot, which I didn't know what it was. Couldn't find nothing on the iNet about that, and it was you guys that made me realize it was ammonia, and I was out of my ammonia region too at the time. She's really healthy. Okay, this is a very, very long video. I'm going to put an end to it. I need your help. I need your help. I really don't want to lose this fish. And I really don't want to never know what it is. As a fish hobbyist, you got to learn what it is. There is a scientific reason for it, a biological, organic reason, and you discover it. You manage it. I got a little bit of algae there. It's got to go. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to clean my tank walls now and put this online. I'm running 2 filters. Did I mention that? Aqua Clear and the Elite? Yeah, I think I got it all in there. Please help me. Please help me. Please, somebody have like an Einstein moment and help my precious Rhuken. I mean, is it like fish cancer? Is he like just an old guy? He's just getting spotty before he dies, kind of thing. That sounds like a cop-out answer to me, but I want to help him. And, well, I'm going to buy a hospital tank from you guys. I'm going to buy some new carbons for my other Elite 30. And I'm going to buy some medicine from you guys. And some... Yeah, that was a weird movement. Some nice aloe vera stress coat. Anyway, you can see me reflected on the tank now. Yeah, end of video. Please help me and my Rhuken. I am scientifically stumped.